Hello guys, Dama.K2 here. We're back for another segment of the Steaming Pilot Ship Tournament here. Gonna have some really tough contenders here this time. Neither one of these has lost a round throughout the entire course of the competition. And we have some very, very powerful ships here. We are going to have Maty's IGN Kyushu, and it's going to be facing off against the very cram heavy Indefatigable. So before we get started here, I've got some guest commentators. We have I am Mark III, Jack, and Lilakari here. And I like to get you guys' predictions before we start the match.
Well, it's hard to predict. Both ships are very strong, and it's really who can land his shots the best.
Yeah, pretty much.
That might be Kyushu because APS is known to be inherently more accurate. However, you do have all the drawbacks that we talked about in the last tournament video that we were recording, where we were discussing some of the things about the crams where they're not nearly as reactive if they get hit. So we'll just have to wait and see. Ian, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Unfortunately, I'm saying flip a coin as well, honestly, because apart from the difference in the main weapon system, they have similar levels of armor and overall performance, so it's like whoever gets a lucky hit in first, honestly. Though
very well could
again,
be the case.
Yeah. Again, Indefatigable has 6 turrets versus the Kyushu's 4, so that might be telling. It might not be. I just don't know.
Lilakari, do you have anything you'd like to mention?
No, not really. But I'm pretty much on the same lines with Ion here.
Okay. Jack, do you have anything else you want to add before I get started? I'll take the long drawn silence as a no then.
Well, let's battle begin, no?
Alright, let's do this. And here we go with our opening volleys. I don't know why, but Kyushu was way off the mark with those.
I think it's just because of the fact they get dropped into the water slightly after spawning.
That very well could be it. Now that you mention it, Ian.
Yeah, if they're just like just settling themselves, then they must have very fast upwards acceleration, and so the system tries to predict that.
Looks like Kyushu was able to draw first blood here. Got some good blood confetti coming off of this now. That volley missed entirely, though.
So again, trying to cross the T, it looks like.
They're both trying to. Let's see what that's done over here to Maty's ship. Looks like it still has all of it. Oh no, I take that back. That second turret here, that one really took a nasty hit.
That might be a problem, because that's like a quarter of its main guns out.
Yeesh.
I should mention that whoever does not proceed on from this battle right here will be sent down to the losers bracket. Well, they'll have to face off against the Trident. But we are getting very, very close here to determining our champion here for the tournament. And so far, I'm going to have to put my money on Indefatigable.
Yeah, those 6 heavily armored turrets, along with the fact they're crams, of course, so they fire better if they get damaged versus an APS system. But
yeah, Maty has completely lost that turret right there now.
And that other one's damaged as well. Turret number 3.
Got some pretty good block damage going in there. Had some very solid hits there with the crams. And using pen depth, that just means I'm gonna have a lot of internal damage going on.
I think it would be kind of interesting if the ship that's armed with heavy cram systems is the one that takes the tournament.
It would be, yes.
Yeah.
But right now, it looks like the crams are just kind of going for a somewhat empty area in here. Like, he does, yeah, I saw the some ammo storage in there. That would probably be fairly devastating if it got touched off, but I don't know how much damage the ship would suffer as a result. Ooh, there goes some more shots into the superstructure, completely over-penetrating and detonating on the other side. Still have a lot of the cannons active on the Kaishu. Let's see if Indefatigable has lost any so far. Looks like a lot of them are still active. This one right here looks like, yeah, this one looks like it might have been
some barrel damage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not damaged bad enough to stop it from firing.
Yeah, but we're not seeing any shells come out of it.
Well, remember, since it's smaller, it wouldn't be firing as often as the bigger barrel next to it.
Indefatigable is listing very heavily to its left side there.
I think that's probably recoil forces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyushu's still very much mobile.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the guns are still active. Maty is very good with armoring and APS, so.
Ship's internals look like they've been torn up pretty hard, though.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that turret is pretty much knocked out now.
Yeah.
But he's still got like 5 more that he'd have to take out before not having to worry about getting shot anymore. This one right here looked like it could potentially have been knocked out.
Nope, it just fired as you said that.
Mm-hmm. But the weird thing,
the way of things.
The weird thing I've noticed with crams though in current version is they'll still do the firing animation, but nothing will actually leave the barrel if they get damaged. Am I the only one who's noticed that, or have you guys seen that as well?
Yeah, I've seen this as well.
Same here.
Mostly when I test in designer mode against the king set. It fires often crams and nothing come out. Damage.
Indefatigable has a fairly significant damage percentage over the Kyushu right now. Ooh, that was a nasty hit right there. Looks like only a handful of barrels right now are actually working on the Kyushu.
My guess is pretty much only 2 turrets are functional and 1 turret has only 2 guns. So they'll want one. Seems to have only 1 gun.
Well, that bounced off the deck, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Crams are kind of prone to that sometimes.
Here comes the next volley.
One thing
Ooh, that was a nasty hit.
Yeah, one thing that's going on quite well for Indefatigable right now is because of all the turret damage, its shells are no longer firing in volley.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a constant stream. It's actually letting its hit Kyushu more consistently.
Looks like we're still pretty mobile over here.
Yeah, the Kyushu.
That list is not helping it, I'm sure.
The Kyushu are out of materials, as I see.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it seems to have stopped firing. Does that count as disabled? I mean, the engine's still going. It's still moving.
Mm-hmm.
But no materials means no repairs and no weaponry.
It's still moving though.
Yeah.
Theoretically, if it really wanted to, it could ram it.
Yeah, but you specifically forbade that kind of thing in the tournament.
I know.
Oh.
So I was considering it like a demolition derby style tournament. That could be interesting.
Yeah. You were talking about like tanks doing that, I think, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
All the Kyushu can do now is take the hits.
I think this match is done.
I agree.
Yeah,
Alright, well, let's get it set up for the next one. And congratulations to DaChazBoi for your victory here.
Yeah, I think redundancy in the Indefatigable is what got it through there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Having multiple its main weapons in multiple turrets instead of lesser turrets really helps.
Yeah, that's one of the strengths of the cram system. You can get a high payload out of a relatively small turret if you decide to work them that way.
Alright, so does anyone else have any further comments before we get into this next battle?
No, not really.
Okay. So just a reminder, the loser of this battle will be going up against the Trident. And after the one versus the Trident, that means we'll have one more elimination and we'll have it down to 2 ships.
It's getting poor accuracy on the initial volleys.
But I think that's like you said, where they just kind of plop down in the water.
Yeah, and while they're just accelerating in different directions, it just throws things off completely. Is there a block that actually could dictate spawning position above the water?
Believe you might be referring to like doing a spawn stick.
No, there was an actual block which used to do that. I don't remember if it's still in the game or not.
Yeah, I think the
That must have been before I started playing.
No, it was around for a while. It's just like barely anyone ever used it.
And they love to act stuff that people barely use.
True.
Even though there's like a handful of people who use it a lot. Yeah, screw those guys. Again, another sore topic I don't want to get into the details on.
Yeah, I think it was like a spawn point block or something, and it was intended for fortresses, but it could go on any vehicle.
I do know that there's kind of an origin block, but that thing is just basically to determine where a docking station can basically
grab the vehicle.
Yeah. We've been working together too long. You're finishing my sentences now.
The corruption goes both ways, Dama.
Yep.
Don't I know it? Of course, now I'm building stuff that's starting to look more like something you'd build, and now you're... It just seems like everyone's kind of copying everyone else nowadays. Not a complaint, just an observation.
And we just learn from each other and take lessons from what other people build.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Such is the way of a game like this.
There is a lot of knowledge that gets shared on our Discord, and that's one of the things I love about it so much.
Of note here, Indefatigable's actually lost one of its turrets, more or less. Pretty badly mangled one of those.
yeah, the Kyushu runs out of materials as I see.
Yeah,
Very low.
this one over here looks like it's about to get knocked out itself. This one right here is half the man it used to be.
Yeah, it's battered.
Oh,
but
we
it
have
might
completely
there
lost
goes
the
one.
turret there.
Isn't
It's
that
kind of
a
interesting
first?
because, yeah, this is a first for this ship.
How small it is.
I know. I honestly would have thought they would have sank down into the actual deck of the ship a little bit more.
Especially with how hard they hit. But no, as I said a little bit ago,
Well,
you
let's
can get
see.
a very high yield cram in a small turret.
Let's see what he's done to Maty so far. Just has some barrels sheared off here in the front. Looks like we have one turret
Well,
completely
that's-
knocked out.
Yeah.
One that's just barely working. And just had another shot go over Maty's head there.
Matey seems to be faring a bit better this time.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
This might be a very close one where we have to go for 3 separate rounds, which I'm completely fine with.
It might come down to material though. I mean,
Kyushu
Matey's
runs
material
out.
count is almost gone.
If there's no ammo for the Kyushu, It's pretty much a punchback.
Maty's done some damage, but not that much damage to ignore that for like 6 more minutes.
And Kyushu does have a slight lead though right now. But you are right, Fatigable does have a lot more material to burn through.
And most of his weaponry is still active as
Right
well.
now, I think the only way Maty's getting any material right now is when it lands a hit.
Looks like.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps dropping that to like maybe a couple of hundred material, and then every time it hits, it seems to want to jump back up.
Oh,
Yeah, that was...
a nasty
Ooh.
hit. What was that?
I think that's
Turbo.
ammo storage.
Well, we managed to get that on camera this time, ladies and gentlemen.
Not as dramatic as what happened to Geo, but still quite a chunk.
Yeah,
I think that was ammo storage.
that's the only thing that I could think of that would have blown the back end of the ship off, but
Yeah. Same here.
I would say that might be the hit that the Kyushu was looking for.
Yeah. Seems
A lucky
like
shot.
It seems we get first round.
Mm-hmm. Though Kyushu itself, it's about to run out of material here, but even then, they just kind of sit there and look at each other stupid, not being able to do one thing to the other, so...
Not really. Kyushu would still be circling, and if it circles far enough, the forward guns on Indefatigable will come back into play.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like it's trying to do right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still, that's going to be a hard lead to try to beat there.
It's true.
Maty's still landing shots every now and then.
Yeah, but he's not picking up any more material, though.
I was kind of surprised at how shallow some of these cram turrets are. Like the one that detonated on the back and that was completely gone. It's like there's hardly anything to it, but
It looks like they might be secondaries, the ones towards the center of the ship.
like a center
Seem to
line
be
secondary.
more-
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah, it seems to have like the same fire rate, more or less, but much more mechanism built into them. They just
Kyushu
look
is
exactly
like
the same.
completely out of materials right now, but somehow it is still getting shots off.
Yeah, the magazine. Shells in the magazine,
Mm-hmm.
my guess. If it has magazines and not a direct input. In the
I believe they do.
loader.
Maty often uses magazines in his APS guns.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
I know this for a fact because he bitches about my APS Tetris. I don't try to do a whole lot of min-maxing like he tries to do, so yeah. I just mostly want to make sure that shit's functional the way I need it to function, and then I'm pretty good after that. Though
Oh dear.
any FTD player that's invested any significant amount of time in the game knows that trying to make things functional and aesthetically pleasing all at the same time can be a royal pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Especially when you want
Especially
something that doesn't work like a glass cannon. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. What were you going to say?
The problem is, you technically can't do that. Functional and aesthetic at the same time because of that whole beauty is in the eye of the beholder thing.
Technically, I'd have to call bullshit on that because decorations are now a thing. So you can essentially take a ship and make it look like any other ship.
Yeah, but no matter what you do, someone's not going to like it.
Perfection is only in the mind, I suppose. We've had this
Exactly,
discussion
yeah.
a few times.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like some people really like how a ship looks, but some people like an entirely different style of ship. So
Indefatigable is still looks like it's trying to get some cram volleys out, but the shells are just pretty much blowing smoke at the barrels right now. So it is kind of interesting though that we're getting a pretty good look into the deck armor here of the ship, and it just layers after layers of the reinforced decking here. No wonder why this thing's so freaking tough.
Yeah.
Reinforced decking is not as bad as some people might think.
Yeah, that's quite decent.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, a
That's
couple
why I
of
like to
layers
use it.
of that. They'll be able to stop a whole hell of a lot of stuff. But I think the most I've ever used though is maybe like 2 meters of it, and that's usually for like stuff that I consider lightly armored that doesn't really need a whole lot of protection. But around turrets and stuff, I'll back it
It's
with.
actually less useful in currents
Yeah.
than it is here. Because here you get more armor stacking depth than you do in current version.
Mm-hmm. Depending on what type of ship, though, I'll usually like make the top of the turret's barbette out of heavy armor and put the reinforced decking on top of that. But that's like for very large ships that I'd be worried about having a ammo detonation in one of the turrets. Yeah, I think Maty has this one well in hand here, considering we got maybe like less than 10 seconds now. This will be one of the
Yeah.
rare instances where we go into a third round.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maty's combination of armor and firepower outlasted against the raw burst damage of Indefatigable.
Yeah, this could very well be one of the best matches of the tournament here so far.
Was a lucky shot in the ammo.
Yeah, that did a lot. Oddly, Indefatigable was trying to back away from Kyushu at the time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the AIs were messing up a bit in that case because it didn't really have much of a reason to try and do that.
I think we should petition Maty to change the name of his ship to the Bifurcator. Anyway, does anyone have any comments before we start the next round?
Still a coin flip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In all
Yeah,
honesty,
obviously,
we-
because it's 1-1 now.
They're really balanced each other.
Yeah, it's really well balanced. So yeah, it's whoever gets really like a lucky shot off first, but it's
Mhm.
like shuts out the opponent. So
All right, well, here we go.
there goes the trademark initial volley.
All misses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, actually, oh, that was really close, but yeah. Unfortunately, Kyushu powered forward and dodged it.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of crazy, though, seeing Kyushu right now with 0 materials, but I think that all went into loading his weapons. Because APS is notoriously expensive.
It can be, yeah.
That is one thing I could never understand since about maybe a year and a half ago. Just it seems like everyone was just hating on APS. I'd still argue that it was not near as bad as people made it out to be to warrant the kind of nerfing that was done to it. But
I think it's like it was far more popular, so people would see it more, and then you get the more people that would be angry and yell about stuff, seeing it and deciding, oh no, it blew up my favorite boats.
yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
what it felt like to me.
Hmm.
I mean, Cram and APS have their uses. It's
But, people just prefer APS because it's always been a more flexible, faster shot compared to a big, slow cram.
Mhm.
But it's
probably
more
going to
use-
trade some
more
really
useful.
good shots here, it looks like.
Yeah,
Very
broadside.
close range. If Indefatigable gets a good salvo off right here, it probably could. Nope, doesn't look like he's going to do it.
Yeah, the slow rate of fire on those crams means it can't really take advantage of opportunities like that too well. But it is now firing as the Kyushu backs away.
Yeah, and
Oh, it must
every
miss.
shot misses.
Yeah, because it was turning at the time.
If it would have just got off a good cram volley when it was practically sitting there right next to it in a broadside, I
Or
would've
if
done
some
some
of those
serious
turrets had
damage.
timed HD.
it looks like,
oh,
yep,
turret is decided.
Indefatigable has lost 1 turret so far. Let's have a
That-
quick look at Maty, see if we've had any turrets knocked out over here. It looks like the front ones are functioning as well as the rear. One had a barrel sheared off.
Kyushu's kept its firepower. I think that's another first for Indefatigable though.
The
The fact we've seen one of its turrets not damaged, but
Mhm.
actually looks like AI disabled.
The health bars are also looking very, very close.
Yeah.
They're really slugging it out right now.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I wish that Chrome system had was some way to actually boost the speed of the shells.
Yeah, there's a mod for that.
Yeah, but
mean,
if you have to
built into
go
the
get a
system
mod for it, I think
Yeah.
Ian's wanting something more vanilla.
Yeah, like some kind of pellet you could pack into it, which would boost the shell speed.
Well, they
So
were
you could
talking
dedicate
about
some of the shell
steam crams at one point, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to show up anymore.
Speed. Probably not. There's a lot of stuff that was talked about, but it's never really showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I think Indefatigable is on the way towards a loss at this rate.
Yeah. I don't think any of his cram cannons are functioning right now.
It's because they've lost so much of their barrels.
Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute.
They're having a lot of trouble.
Just had 2 shots go out. No, 3 shots.
Few still work, but the most seem to be disabled.
Yeah, they've lost barrels, so they can't angle properly, if the turrets are still working at all. Yeah, I think Indefatigable has taken a major blow to its weaponry,
Mhm.
which it needs to try and stay in the fight.
Yeah.
There you go, I think the look of this fight was with Kyushu again.
Mm-hmm.
Though in a different way compared to the explosion last time.
Yeah, that turret right there that's just barely functioning, it just took a massive hit from Maty's APS there.
Actually, it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Second two was gone.
Cut in half.
DaChazBoi really did a good job of armoring this thing, though. Yeah.
Also,
Look, it's like 5 layers down here.
it seems it's gonna be a rematch of the Indefatigable versus the Trident.
It very well could be, yes. And then I think after this there would only be like maybe 2 more matches that would need to be done before the tournament's concluded. So yeah, we're really down to the wire here. You guys think you want to try to get that recorded today, or I can always wait till next week or something like that. Just want to get a feel for what you guys want to do here. Since we already done like what, 3 of these? Back to back to back.
I think this will be the last one I'm gonna stick around
Yeah.
for a recording of right now.
I
Yeah,
think
I'm
it's
fine with that.
enough for today.
I think they'll always focus on building something again.
Probably.
Yeah. I'm pretty much focusing on this one shell I'm trying to design.
Okay. Then yeah, I feel safe with calling it after this match.
It's worse than losing your audience. You're losing your commentators.
Which I have noticed I have been losing a few subscribers lately, but I'm not entirely surprised by that because I did do a few things that might have warranted it. So
Or it could be that YouTube is currently purging some accounts.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah.
I know Arch had his account banned, but that was something
Yeah.
completely out of his control.
Yeah, his account was hacked. I loved Arch. This Warhammer 40k lore
Hmm.
video.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people out there that say he's like a fascist or a Nazi or whatever, and I don't necessarily believe any of that.
Problem is, it's like
Not really.
it's that whole thing of like taking stuff out of context and then echo chambering it.
Yeah. Also, he's I feel Arch is very quick to call everything communist or something.
No,
So-
he started doing that as a mocking like how things were going and being treated in general.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He did have
But
a lot of
often it's
politically
like,
charged discussions, though, in all fairness.
He does sometimes, yeah, but the things like he also has like basically a sarcastic sense of humor.
Yeah. I even thought his political views and such comments had him banned for this, but it's luckily just a hack.
Well,
Because
the way
he-
global politics have kind of been going, I think having a healthy dose of cynicism would keep a lot of us from going completely insane. So,
Oh, that he's got.
Yeah.
But political comments on such a platform on YouTube, I wouldn't try it. I really thought he got banned for his comments and
No, I mean, he's not been banned for that before, and he doesn't pick everything to speak out on. It's just like something that he feels is particularly important, and he can
yeah.
maybe weigh in on a little bit, rather than just like repeating what everyone else is saying.
he did get quite a bit of feedback, though, in that write-in campaign that he had against Games Workshop there. That was kind of
Yeah,
interesting.
That's he got a lot of people to actually get involved on that.
Yeah.
Despite the fact
Some
he's supposedly hated by so much of the Warhammer 40k community, if you listen to what some of them say. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Because he doesn't think that. Well, I remember he did several videos on feminism and Warhammer 40k. I actually thought they were extremely interesting, but the whole argument of there needs to be girls Space Marines, I think it's kind of stupid because you have so many other female-dominated
Yeah, the
factions.
Elders are mostly female.
If they like made a
female-looking.
couple of female faces for Imperial Guard, I'd be completely fine with that. If and they already have the Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, the Sister of Battle. Yeah, with Sister of Battle, you have pretty much something similar, like Space Marine, female Space Marine.
And there goes Indefatigable. Too
here's the thing.
damaged.
If
It's
they
all
get
fine.
female Space Marines, we get male Sisters of Battle.
I think you make a very interesting point there that should be proposed, Ion.
Yeah.
That's what happens if you get enforced inclusion.
Well, yeah, you make a very, very good point there. It's trying to show things from the other point of view there, but I don't know how well reverse sexism works nowadays.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
First off, reverse sexism doesn't exist. It's just called sexism.
I couldn't think of a better
yeah.
term for it at the time, but anyway, looks like
it really doesn't.
yeah. It looks like Maty has had a fairly clear win there, though. This had been one of the more intensive matches of the entire competition here so far. So congratulations to Maty for a very hard-fought win there. My condolences to DaChazBoi. You have built an amazingly powerful, strong ship, and it carried you pretty far, but we're unfortunately going to have to drop you down into the losers bracket where you'll once again face off against the Trident. And the winner of that match will be in second place, unless it can defeat the Kyushu.
Sadly, there can only be one.
You're going to make me start singing the song.
He did, like I said, he didn't lose. He just merely failed to win.
Yep. So, anyone else have any closing comments before I wrap up the video?
No,
To be
not
honest,
really.
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome fight.
Yeah, that too. This is like some people have honestly criticised me a bit for how I prefer to have my crams firing in like a 12 to 15 seconds refire. Well, it's true that you can easily balance a cram to fire slower but with more power, and in fact many people do, like 20-25 seconds plus. I think that kind of hurt Indefatigable here. If it had been able to fire faster, it might have been able to hold up better against Kyushu.
Yeah.
If you wanted faster, he had gone more likely for APS, for faster rate of fire.
No, but it's like even like for APS, 10 to 12 seconds is slow firing.
Yeah.
But for crams, it's like
Normal.
you're sacrificing a lot of fire rate and a lot of chances to hit the target.
It seems like
hit a chance. It's like rolling the dice.
Maty
if you're
was
going too slow.
going with steam electric to power this thing. Though I guess that's probably obvious with the props down here, but yeah. That was a very good match, though, guys. So, yeah,
Yeah,
be interesting to see what happens from here on out. So, I'd like to thank you all for watching. This has been Dama82 with Lolakari, Iron Mark 3, and Jack. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have yourselves a hell of a day, and keep your hammer high. Later.